Bomb, bomb, Iran. Bomb, 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 Iran. A mosque, gonna throw some rocks. Tell the Ayatollah, gonna put you in a box.
Israel versus Iran conflict has been nothing but a mess. It has split the country. It has split MAGA. And really because America doesn't want to go to war. Can't blame us, right? Why would we want to go to war on behalf of another country, right? Even at the behest of another country. Now, this isn't a situation where an ally was attacked and needed our help. Israel launched an attack against Iran. Why did they do that? Because Iran wouldn't come to the table. They wouldn't negotiate a deal regarding their nuclear program, one that not only allows them to develop nuclear capabilities, but nuclear weapons. Donald Trump stepped in more than once, trying to negotiate a deal with Iran. Iran refused. They came up with every excuse as to why they could not and would not do so. Trump gave them fair warning. He gave them a deadline. I believe it was like 2 weeks, but don't quote me on that. I have to go back to my notes. But regardless, Donald Trump did give them warning. What's crazy is not too long after the deadline was breached or not met by Iran, Israel launched an attack. But before doing so, Donald Trump hinted that, well, might be a good idea for everybody in our embassies or serving abroad on behalf of the U.S. in the Middle East, you might want to clear out. And then that's when the bombing started. Now, in retaliation, Iran launched everything they had. One of the first times in many, many years that Israel has been attacked the way it had. In fact, it was so vicious that their Iron Dome didn't even hold up. Rockets were getting through. It got to the point where Donald Trump was getting pretty pissed off. He wanted peace. He wanted peace between Iran and Israel. Both sides refused. So Donald Trump gave a warning. He said, we need peace. We need to come to the table. And not long after, Donald Trump decided we're going to bomb Iran. And he did so. In fact, Donald Trump sent this post out on both X and Truth Social. We have completed our very successful attack on the 3 nuclear sites in Iran, including Fordo, Natanz, and Esfahan. Now, I can't really pronounce those correctly, so don't hold it against me. All planes are now outside of Iran airspace. A full payload of bombs was dropped on the primary site, Fordo. All planes are safely on their way home. Congratulations to our great American warriors. There is not another military in the world that could have done this. Now is the time for peace. Thank you for your attention. And so Iran kind of just caved. They said, you know what? We're not going to do that. And Donald Trump was able to basically negotiate another deal because he launched this post here. Congratulations to everyone. It has been fully agreed by and between Israel and Iran that there will be a complete and total ceasefire in approximately 6 hours from now, when Israel and Iran have wound down and completed their in progress final mission for 12 hours, at which point war will be considered ended. Okay, so I'm not going to read the whole thing, but basically, if you're paying attention to this, you know that Israel couldn't hold back. In fact, Donald Trump was very, 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 let's just say, very pissed off about how Israel handled themselves. Israel decided that, well, you're giving us a deadline, so we got about an hour. Might as well give them everything we have. And let's just say Donald Trump very much berated them. It was in the press that he even dropped an F-bomb concerning that. Now, I can play that clip. I'm sure you could find it. But I think this sums it up probably a bit better. In fact, let me go ahead and play this clip because I think this will give you a better understanding of how mad Donald Trump was.
Listen to people because of your fucking shit? You better get your own fucking army, pal. I'm what counts out here. I get calls from back home every fucking day. They think you went batshit. You wanted to go on TV.
Yeah, I did want to go on TV. That way I have a forum. I can fight back. I'm known. People see me. They know they can't fuck around with me like they could if I was an unknown. That's right.
Get this through your head, you Jew motherfucker, you.
Jeez.
You only exist out here because of me. That's the only reason. Without me, you personally, every fucking wise guy still around will take a piece of your fucking Jew ass. Then where you gonna go? Your fucking warrant don't ever go over my fucking head again, you motherfucker, you.
Well, that pretty much sums it up, I think. Now, that being said, Congress is mad. Congress is saying that Donald Trump broke the law. He was not supposed to be able to take military action, apparently, without congressional approval. Well, I'm going to tell you that's complete bullshit. But, you know, we have the stars of the Democrat Party who say otherwise. AOC, the president's disastrous decision to bomb Iran without authorization is a grave violation of the Constitution and congressional war powers. I'm going to get to that. But let me read more dumb fuckery, because these Congress people who are elected to represent us, and part of their job is really to make sure that, well, we're abiding by the Constitution, or at least sticking to it, you know, things like that. Now, they're not judges, no, but everything they do is supposed to be by and for the Constitution, but we'll get to that. So there's AOC. Here is Hakeem Jeffries. Here we go. Let's listen to this guy. He has something to say to Donald Trump about this.
Donald Trump and his actions, which do not appear to be consistent with the United States Constitution, takes unilateral offensive military action without seeking the approval of the United States Congress.
You're right, Hakeem, because as I will get to, he didn't need to. But let's hear the star of the Democrat Party, the future. Here we go. Here's what Jasmine Crockett thinks.
And to understand enough about the Constitution to the extent that I'm the one that's supposed to make a fucking decision, or at least get a vote.
Really?
Because Ron is telling me. So literally, like,
Okay. I think we heard enough of her. So Crockett assumes that she's supposed to make the fucking decisions. Hakeem Jeffries thinks that he should have been asked as well, that in fact, Trump shouldn't have acted at all without congressional approval. And AOC, that bag of rocks, in my opinion, by the way, also believes that Trump violated the Constitution. Now, here's what's interesting. You see, I'm going to go to a little website here, constitutioncenter.org, and this is where they actually study and give opinions. Not really just opinions, but it's just facts about the Constitution. They just break it down. Here is constitutioncenter.org, and where they break down the Constitution. And what I wanted to go over was a few things, but the War Powers Resolution, which was passed by Congress in 1973, it was passed over President Richard Nixon's veto, by the way, so sought to ensure that lawmakers have a role in approving armed conflicts involving the United States not formally declared as war. The last congressional war declaration, by the way, this is important because what Donald Trump did is he didn't declare war. He took a military action. We're going to get to that in just a few minutes. But the last time war was actually declared, and this is, again, very important, the last time it was declared was 1942. That's right, World War II. And it's very interesting to take that in, because what about all the wars, conflicts or military actions taken by Bill Clinton, taken by George Bush, taken by Obama, by Biden? So keep that in mind. Now, what is the War Powers Resolution? I'm going to read on here. The resolution requires, in the absence of a declaration of war, that a president report. So here's where the president has to go to Congress. They have to report within 48 hours after introducing the United States military forces into hostilities. So after they take action, after the president takes action or military action, he's supposed to report within 48 hours, after which Congress will decide that the action will either end in 60 days or they can permit it to continue. while still not being declared war. The president can take military action or send the military out to conduct missions if it is in the best interest of the United States of America, in which there is a perceived threat to the United States of America, all done without declaring war. This is part of what the commander-in-chief can do. Now, that being said, everybody is kicking and screaming and crying about Trump's action in bombing Iran. I want to talk about Obama for a second. So, Obama got this from Snopes, but this information is everywhere. You can look this up. Nothing that I am telling you is anything that's hidden. It's all accessible. In fact, is what we would call OSINT. All right. It's all available information that anybody can look up. It's on you to decipher and go through all the bullshit and find the facts, but it is out there. From Snopes here, how Obama dropped, get this, more than 26,000 bombs on 7 countries without congressional approval just in 2016 alone. This isn't everything that Obama did, by the way. In fact, I'm going to read some of it right here. 2016, Barack Obama dropped 26,171 bombs on Iraq, Syria, Afghanistan, Libya, Yemen, Somalia, and Pakistan, all without congressional approval. And of course, yes, Donald Trump dropped 36 bombs on Iran the other day. Gotcha. And the Democrats are extremely mad that Donald Trump took action. Now, we can argue whether or not that action was justified. Should we have done so? Well, since then, we have suddenly gotten to a point of peace between Iran and Israel, especially after Israel was berated by Donald Trump. Iran realized that Donald Trump wasn't fucking around because he sent, a pretty decent assault against Iran to take out their nuclear facilities. So, with all that being said, cry harder, libs. Cry harder. Now, do I support personally Donald Trump bombing Iran? I'm not really sure that I do, only because I'm on the side of we don't need wars. In fact, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, I think Israel should fight their own wars. If they're going to start shit, they need to end shit. Where do we step in? Well, let's say a larger aggressor, and this is theoretical, I'm not saying this is happening, but let's say China launched an attack against Israel. Now, that would be a very sticky one for us to get involved in, but at that point, Israel is our ally. Or it'd be the same as if Russia attacked the UK. The United States would have to step in and help protect their ally. Well, we don't have to, but I'm pretty sure we will. So in conclusion, I'm going to leave you with this brilliant remix right here.
You know what? We basically have 2 countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. You understand that? You understand that? They don't know what the fuck they're doing. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. You understand that? You understand that? They violate